I was an idiot. I did Skull Peach my first time, and I took a dip, and I wasn't sure, how big to take a dip, and so
You took a big ass
I took
chunk,
a fat ass one. Well, about 5 to 10 minutes later, I got really sick.
Were you swallowing it?
Yes, I was swallowing it.
God.
I was lightheaded, and I wasn't sure what the hell was going on, so I spit it out, right?
You got Nick sick.
I got Nick sick. I puked up, and it was projectile vomit.
Projectile. Fuck. So do you feel like you could swallow the peach now? And not the Copenhagen, but the peach. You don't feel like you would swallow it now?
I will never swallow Skull Peach again.
You gotta. Okay, well, you don't have to, but if you get used to chewing, after a while you're gonna be able to swallow it. Like, you see me spitting a lot, but half the time because Copenhagen long cut wintergreen, it makes saliva build up a lot quicker. So I spit, like, I swallow and then I spit and then I swallow and then I spit. So it's like I just spit. So swallow it. You just got to get used to it.
That's nasty.
Well, your first couple times swallowing it, or accidentally swallowing it, if you don't want to swallow it, will get you very sick. Like, very sick. Like, you start getting really hot. Start getting really cold, too. You get, like, cold sweats, basically. And a lot of people aren't able to drink.
Sorry, I was waving to my sister.
To drink while they have a dip in. Like, you can, if you have a, sorry, that was gross. You can, if you can drink. A lot of people can drink their first time having like a snus pouch in, or a snooze pouch. But you're able to drink with like loose tobacco, like actual chewing tobacco. I just swallowed it. A lot better, I think.
Yeah.
Because then loose tobacco actually leaves like a weird taste in your mouth for the aftertaste. But if you drink while you have the dip in, it kind of stops that from happening after you take the dip out. So let me ask you another question. Or what are you willing to try next? Grizzlies, another type of Skull, another type of Copenhagen, or like Camel Snus?
I honestly think I don't really like Snus that much anymore.
I hate it.
Now that I've been actually dipping chewing tobacco, it's actually...
What about Redman? You think you'll be able to try that? That shit's strong. Redman comes in a bag. It's like actual chewing tobacco. You can't pinch it, you can't pack it, you just reach in, grab a giant ass fucking pinch, and it molds in your mouth.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do that.
No?
Not yet, anyway. Not until after I've been dipping for a while.
Yeah. Oh, just set that right in front of the view. So, my first time, let's get to my story. So my first time dipping, this is before my dad passed away. If you haven't known that, my dad passed away when I was 13. And I went and lived with my mom. But before that, my dad was really sick. He was basically bedridden. He couldn't get out of the bed. He was really sick. He had liver failure. But he lived for like an extra 3 years without any surgeries, no nothing. But so one day I was really bored and I called my cousin Stuart up, come pick me up, take me somewhere, because I was bored. And he's like, all right, I'll take you to Cabela's, and then after that we'll go to like the haunted forest. And I was like, all right. So we were on our way to Cabela's, and then I got really hungry, and Cabela's was far, far away from where I lived at the time. And so I got hungry on the way over there, and he stopped at, I think it was McDonald's. And when we were like in the line to order at the drive-thru, he pulled out a can of actually this. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, oh, you don't want none of this. It's chewing tobacco. It can kill you. It can give you cancer. And I was like, oh, bet. Let me try some. Being a dumbass 13-year-old, actually 12-year-old this time, but so he's like, all right, take a small pinch. And to me, I saw the pinch that he took, and it was like that. It was a fat lip. And then, so I thought a small pinch would be like half that. So I took about half of what he took, which was like that much. And it didn't even take like a full 6 minutes. And I was like spitting it out, and I was the worst fucking nicotine high I've ever had. And I was spitting it out. We were driving, and he's like, here, eat some. And I was like, all right, I'll try and eat. I took one bite. Next thing I know, I'm telling him to pull over. He pulled over, and I just opened the door and started hucking fucking. Sorry. Hucking puke. It was the worst experience of my life, I think. And then, being another dumbass, about 3 or 4 months later, I was chewing again. So, Copenhagen Wintergreen was the first chew I had. Second I actually had my own can. It was the Skull Cherry, I think. It tastes like fucking medicine.
Sounds nasty.
It is. It tastes like medicine, like cough syrup. Sorry, I almost loosened my lip. But I was chewing that. I was feeling pretty confident about it. And then I went to my friend's house, and he had some Copenhagen Wintergreen. And I was like, he offered me some. He's like, dude, get that pussy shit out of here, you know? And I was like, okay, what do you want me to try then? You know, like, what do you want me to dip? And he's like, here, try some of this. And I was like, bro, I've already had that, and I fucking got sick. And he's like, well, how long ago was it? And I was like, 3 to 4 months. And he's like, how many times did you do after that? I was like, it was just that one time, and I got hella sick from it. So I didn't want to do it again. And then he said to do it, and if I get sick, keep on doing it till I get used to it. So I did. He bought me a roll of, or a log, as a lot of people call it, of Copenhagen Long Cut Wintergreen. And I went home, hid it from my dad underneath my bed, spit in a fucking water bottle, threw it out every night, got a new one the next morning, went to school, and I don't know why I was dipping during class, and I just got this big buzz. I was like, fuck. But I didn't get sick from it. I was actually enjoying it, because the class was boring already. So I was just relaxed with the buzz. And then, that was gross, stringy. And then, I was like, just sitting there, and my friend was like, bro, what's in your lip? Like, you have a fat lip or something? And I was like, yeah, I have a fat lip. And he's like, who punched you? And I was like, no, it's a fat lip. And I pulled down my lip and showed him. And he's like, oh, that's disgusting. And I was like, it's actually not. You want to try it? He's like, yeah, sure. I tried it with him. Well, I took a fat lip trying to be a show off. Fat ass lip. Like that shit, you could see all the way around my cheek. It was like half the can, I think. That was the dumbest mistake of my life. Dumbest. I was trying to be a show off. It didn't take 30 seconds before I spit all that out. And I was puking. Sorry, I had to burp. Ooh, yummy. But I was puking, and he's like started laughing at me and shit. He's like, bro, I ain't doing that. The fuck you doing, man? And then I was like, no, bro, try it. Just don't take that big. And he literally went to pack it like a pack of cigarettes. He went like that, and I was like, bro, you're retarded. And then I went like that and showed him how to pack it. And I opened it, and he went like this. This is literally the size he took. Like that. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? And I grabbed a pinch, not a fat one, but like a mediocre size like that. And I was like, now put that in your lip. And he's like, how? And I was like, just put it in your fucking lip and hold it there. And he's like, okay. And being a faggot, he grabbed his lip and put it in. And I started making fun of him hella bad. But then I realized I had no room to talk because I had just puked. So, story comes short. I stopped dipping for about 3 or 4 years. And then I met my wife. And we had started, after we got married, we had started living down here with her mother-in-law and her sister. And then I got the urge to just start dipping again. Started watching all the outlaw videos I used to watch, all the Redneck TV. Actually, shout out to Redneck TV. That shit's fucking awesome. He's funny as hell. Same with Outlaw. So, I went and got a can of this, actually. And I was in the middle of doing it, and my wife was like, that's disgusting. I'm not going to kiss you till you wash your mouth out. And I was like, no, just try it. It's good. And she's like, no, I did it before and I got hella sick.
As I had said before.
And then she did it, and she didn't get sick, but she didn't like it. So we went back to the store and got her some of the Skull Snus Smooth Mint. And she liked those for the first day.
And then they made me really sick.
And then they made her really sick.
Because they're spitless pouches.
And her gums were getting all cut up. And her lip was starting to burn without the pouch even in. And so I was like, here, try this. And I had just barely gotten the Skull Peach. And she's like, no, I hate that shit. But she tried it and she actually ended up liking it. And she was chewing that for about a week. And then barely today, I was chewing the Copenhagen, and she's like, I want some Skull Peach right now. And I was like, we ain't got none, but you could try this. And she was so scared to do it because she thought it was so hard and so gross that it was just like a weird wintergreen flavor. And so I forced her to do it, basically. Basically, she's the one that pulled down her lip to do it. But she ended up liking it, and now I gave her the rest of my old can, which was about half full. I had actually ended up losing this. That's why I opened this one today. And then I found it when I was looking for it to give it to her. And now it's already almost gone. So, that's the story of my wife starting to dip and my very first time dipping all the way up until now. And for all of you beginners of chewing tobacco, I just want to say, don't start off too cocky. And what I mean by that is don't go into it too strong. Because if you go into it too strong, you're not going to like it, you're going to get hella sick, and you're not going to want to ever do it again. But if you go into it like at a good pace, you'll get used to it over time, and you'll start to like it and start to want it. And in my opinion, it's better than cigarettes.
Doesn't ruin your lungs and shit like that.
It doesn't ruin your lungs. It can give you mouth cancer, but that takes a long time. Like a long time.
You have to be constantly dipping, like 24/7.
Constant chew in your mouth. Constant spitting and or swallowing it, or basically just constant for about a few years, actually more than a few years, like a lot of years. And then you can get mouth cancer, which I'm not really looking forward to. But